Hello and welcome to Curriculum Night Video. I'm Miss Guerriero and this is for 7th grade Language Arts and Social Studies. If your questions are not answered here, there are some other ways to get your questions answered. When we're back in the building, you can call me on my classroom phone. You can always email me and also contact me through Schoology or Skyward. We have been providing a WAG, which stands for Week at a Glance. This is one document that is for students and parents, which contains the overview of the week with links for Zoom and other assignments, due dates, and other important information. We have Skyward and Schoology. Sometimes this can be confusing, but Skyward reflects assignments that have already been graded. Schoology provides those assignments, the due dates, and the documents that might be needed to complete those assignments. If you ever see a 0 and missing in Skyward, that is a red flag for students and families. That means that assignment has not been handed in. Schoology does not always provide a notification for missing assignments, but it will sometimes. Students can always communicate with me through Schoology and through email. Another way to communicate in Schoology is through the Updates section. Students can comment or ask questions in the Updates section, and they can post here for anyone in the class to respond. Here are some of our remote learning tools this year. We'll be using Flipgrid, Edpuzzle, Nearpod, and the Google suite of apps, including Docs and Slides. For language arts this year, our writing focus will be heavily placed on expository, although we will talk about argument and narrative writing as well. We will integrate grammar, spelling, and punctuation into our lessons. We have 4 in-class novels that we'll be reading together. We'll emphasize independent reading, and we will have an end-of-year research essay. The novels we are going to read this year are The Outsiders, one Native American historical fiction book, a book called Ghost Boys, and another book called Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. We will also explore other selections from multimedia sources, and our emphasis this year is literary analysis. The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, we will focus on chunk paragraphs and analysis to look under the surface. For Ghost Boys, we will focus on reading skills as well as social justice. Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet and our Native American historical fiction novel both work to integrate our language arts and social study curriculum. Of course, we'll be reading, writing, doing some critical thinking, blogging, and using these as an historical point of reference. We will also emphasize independent reading this year. Each 7th grade student will have the goal to read a minimum of 21 books on their own. Those books are self-selected, and we will emphasize one writing piece each trimester that reflect on the novels that they have read. In writing, although we do have a heavy lean toward expository, we will also write some argument and narrative pieces. We emphasize the James Schaefer style of writing with teaching methods, and out of the 6 traits of writing, our focus will be on ideas, content, and organization, and conventions. We will also have lots of editing practice. Moving into social studies. For 7th grade, our curriculum is Washington State history, including the Pacific Northwest. Our theme is about identity, journeys, and stories. This class also fulfills a Washington State graduation requirement, meaning that if your student plans to graduate from any high school in Washington State, they do need this class. Some of our units will cover geography, which include basic mapping skills and a familiarization of the Pacific Northwest. We will also explore Native Americans of the Pacific Northwest and Native American sovereignty through an inquiry learning project. We will look at the Washington State government. We have a unit about inclusion, exclusion, and cultural identity. We will get to Japanese incarceration in World War II. And we will end the year with a project about personal identity in Washington. This will be a culminating project where students are asked to make connections to history. They will be asked to explore their personal journey, their personal story, connect to heritage, culture, and experiences. If you need more information, there is a syllabus posted on Schoology for language arts and social studies, and I will provide a feedback form for you via email on Thursday, so look for that Google form. Thank you so much for joining me today, and looking forward to a great year.